we've gotten pretty busy with some VFX stuff that we can't really do a whole lot of tutorials. So this is a way that we can kind of show you how to do stuff as well as keep with our production flow. And it's kind of more fun and interactive, you know? I think it's kind of a cool thing to do.
Like the taste of fresh apples?
It's, yeah, that just happened because I'm trying to watch my own tutorial thing go live here. So, let's, I guess, get started. So, first off, I want to let you guys know this film that we're working on is called The Black Mariachi. Avid Productions 479, my production team, filmed this first part of this movie at, where was it? Stockton, Missouri, with Guantanamera Films. And, well, yeah, we filmed with Guantanamera Films. I helped produce it, and I did a lot of the cinematography. So this is The Black Mariachi by J.K. Williams with Guantanamera Films. I'd also like to tell you guys that you guys should go over to SiteGround.com. If you're looking for great web hosting, it's starting at $3.99, and it's where we're moving all of our sites to. They're a great company, so they're really easy, and you guys should check them out. So, with all that stuff being said, thank you for joining us on our first little escapade into the realms of live streaming and live casting. So, what we're going to be working on is I've already started a lot of the grunt work on this film. But I'm going to kind of show you guys what we're working on. And just to let you guys know, if you hear like the mic going in and out and in and out, it's because I kind of lost one of my microphones. So I'm using a shotgun microphone. So yeah, you'll probably hear some inconsistencies with microphone placement just because it's a shotgun microphone and yeah, it's a shotgun. So here we go. So I've got a lot of stuff here in After Effects. I've already done a lot of stuff. What we're mainly going to be focused on today is green screening and making a good key and doing some other stuff that I feel I should be working on with some compositing and whatnot. So first we're going to head on over into Premiere. So I did not edit this film. The director, Ducon Guantanamera, did the editing and directed this film. It's about a ragtag gang that I guess is a bunch of treasure seekers, and this guy figures out he is the Black Mariachi, which if you haven't read it, you should go check it out. So we've got a lot of different shots here. The editor decided to give a bunch of different markers in our sequence here. So he's like, okay, well, we need this here, la, la, la. I want something like this here and something like this here. And that's kind of how the editing sequence goes whenever you start working in some of this VFX. So this film is partially also in association with Avid, which is awesome. We are also doing all the VFX and all that stuff. Well, I'm doing the VFX. So we've got this first thing here. This is part of a Kickstarter sequence. So this isn't the actual film. This is something we're doing to get crowdfunding. And speaking of crowdfunding, if you could, we have a GoFundMe button on our on our YouTube here. So if you can donate $1 or 50 cents or whatever, that'd be awesome. So there should be a little GoFundMe button on the side here, and you should do that. You should help us make these awesome tutorials and things. Cool. All right. I haven't done this, so I need to check and make sure that I don't have any comments, and feel free to comment and chat. It looks like one person is checking us out. So hello, one person. We'll see if we can get more people along the way. And I have actually a dual screen here, so I can go check out, and I'll actually turn that off. So I'm working in Premiere, and I have a dual screen thing. So this screen is in my right screen here. I'm just going to go ahead and turn this off. Oh, gosh. Preferences and playback. And Mercury transmit off. Boom. So now I can see whenever somebody is talking to me. Yay. Hi, one viewer. Thanks for being here. All right. So let's go into Premiere. That's something we're already working on. So we've got this green screen footage. Now, while we were on the set, this was actually filmed in a separate day than what it was supposed to be filmed. We had a really big rainy day, and our rainy day consisted of doing a lot of outdoor shots. So we had to kind of make do with what we could. So we had to green screen while it was raining the outside of this house that we could get a hold of. So the green screen isn't perfect, which really, really sucks. So we've got to figure out a way to take out all of this white and green. So the green screen should be fairly easy, correct? But not all of it is green. We've got a lot of washed out places. So what we're going to do is we are going to pull this into After Effects. So we'll just right click on here and we'll replace with After Effects composition. That's going to pull it right into After Effects. Now, if you're wondering what kind of computer I'm using a Xeon 6-core, 12-core hyper-threaded computer with 64 gigabytes of memory. So I've got quite a bit of powerhouse working for me in this After Effects thing. So first and foremost, I want to duplicate this layer just in case I want to see what I'm going back to. And I also want to make sure that my composition is in 32 bits because we filmed with a Blackmagic camera and it is a 12. We actually used the 4K version, which is only 11-bit, unfortunately. And we used the Pro 422 instead of 444 to save on memory or hard drive space. So we had a little bit of a deal to work with, but it gives us a great kind of base set. So we've got a little bit of a tracked footage here. So if we play that back, we kind of have a little bit of a track to do. So since we're going to be green screening, let's go ahead and make this 3D track. So we'll just go over here and do 3D track, or actually camera tracker. Camera tracker works. Right there, bring that down. And it's going to go ahead and analyze our footage. It shouldn't take too long. But while it's doing that, feel free to head on over to Avid Productions 479.com. We have this fun little live button down here now. So if you're ever get a little hankering to see what we're doing, look, we're live, and that's what it looks like on our website. We also have a bunch of After Effects tutorials. Since you're watching this on YouTube, you can find those there. And also the live kicker on there, as well as we've got free stock footage, and we have a new package coming out called Light Artifacts, which is going to be done. Also, if you can hang out at Avid Productions Facebook at facebook.com/avidproductions479, you can keep in touch with us here. We like to be your friends. So come friend us and tell us what we're doing right, or even better, tell us what we're doing wrong, and give us a 5-star rating because we like your stars. Okay, so now that I've kind of done this, let's check back. 3D camera, layer size much matched, composition, and use transform defaults. What does that mean? All right, so this needs to be the same size as our camera composition. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to track it another way. Because this footage is actually in 4K. So this is actually being scaled, I believe, by 50%. So if we bring this up to, I want to just go ahead and make this composition settings. I can't remember what size that is. So let's bring this up to just do 100, and then we'll take it, and then we're going to have to export it out anyway. Composition settings, and we'll just do, where is it? Let's go here, layer. Where's my composition? No, where's my layer setting? I want to figure that out. Open layer source. Any way to figure out what the dimensions are here? Anybody who's watching, no. Let's see here. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, nope. Why did it do that? That's interesting. Okay. Well, 39. I believe it's 3940. 3940 by 22. I believe that's right. Composition settings. 3940 by 2216. Nope, that's not right. $38.40, maybe. I think that looks about right. Yeah, it looks about right. All right, let's try 3D camera tracker again here. Nope, nope. Camera tracker. Again, this is made our SiteGround people, $39.99 a month. They are an awesome website host, so make sure to check those guys out. There is a link in the description below, so make sure to do that. All right, that looks much, much, much better. All right, cool. So we've got that, and we're going to go ahead and click our FX there, so we're not going to see that anymore. There we go. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to type in, what is it? It is key light. And this is going to be our green screen keyer. Drag that over. And we're going to find a fairly good green that will hopefully key that out. But if you notice, we've got a lot of green screen problems. So we've got a lot of green in our bowls here. We actually have a green cup on the table. So that is not good. So the way we're going to get around that is we're actually going to duplicate this one more time. We're going to take off our 3D camera tracker here. And we're actually going to, whoops. All right, we're actually going to rotoscope out our dude here. So I'm going to use our roto brush tool. Double click into this layer. We're just going to roto our dude here. So start with that. Frame mismatch for roto brush, 30 frames per second. So just go with composition. Just change this to 30. Be fine. There we go. And we're just going to kind of roto this dude out. I'm going to go up here. We don't need this. There we go. There's that. And we don't need this, or we need that. Actually, now that I think about it, I did that wrong. So actually, what I want to, well, how should I do this? Should I roto him out, or should I, or should I roto that out and make it invisible? Well, I'll just do it the way I was doing it. So just keep him, roto this, and roto that. Keep this, keep that, keep that. All right, keep his hand right there. And we want to keep this. We basically want to keep everything other than the window. So that's what we're going to have to do. That's what we're going to have to do. So keep all this. Keep all of everything other than that green window. Because we don't want the green window. Green window has to be gone. There's that. Alright, keep that. Keep this. Keep that. And we want this. Of course we want this. Doop. Keep this dude here. And now we want to not keep that. Anything that has green in it, we don't want to keep. Nope, come on, we want this. There's that, and we want all of these. We want this. And we want these. And that. Now we're going to refine this more here in a little bit. But it's looking fairly good. And if you want to change this, you can actually hold control and click, and you can get rid of a lot of this stuff. You can make your tools smaller or larger. Whoops, don't want that. And take that out. And take that out. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to play this forward frame by frame, and we're going to make sure, which I've already seen, something that I've already screwed up. Isn't that awesome? We like to see that, don't we? Need to take this here. Whoops, I want to keep that. I want to keep my black. And now we're going to scrub. Zoom out here. Dang it. All right. I'll actually keep this here. And get rid of that. It's all about detail. All is about the detail. Okay. Now we will just scrub and make sure that our keys look fairly good. They're looking pretty good so far. Alright, so we've got about right. We're going to change a lot of this stuff. Whenever it gets too big, you want to make sure that you get rid of all of that stuff, because we don't need it. Don't need it. There's that. Looking pretty good. All right, now we got a new one here. Right there, so you got to come in. Yeah, now this could have been easily fixed on scene or on set if we were in a studio, but we weren't in a studio. We were outdoors, so we were using somebody's house because that's what we could get a hold of at the time. So in a lot of cases, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do and make the best of it. And then you have to do stuff like this to fix all those little problems. And there's a bad problem. All right, so we've got to scrub. All right, here we go. Get rid of all this stuff. Don't need it. Yeah. All right. I didn't notice that. That's right there. We want that. It's a part of the chair. We don't want that. All right. Whoop. A lot of the times. All right, there's that. Now, I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to tell you that a lot of the times this won't work if you're using a certain type of camera. We filmed on a decent camera that had a high bit depth to where it can find some of these little inconsistencies and get a fairly clean key out on a good roto. But a lot of the times, if you're using like a handy cam or something like that, it's going to be a lot more difficult because the bits aren't going to be there. So I would definitely recommend, if you're doing anything like this, to get or try to use a decent camera, because sometimes it's just not going to work out this well. Take this stuff out here the best we can. Now again, we're going to go back over this. This is very time consuming, as you can tell. So you can try to scrub through it with a space bar, or you can do what I'm doing, which I think is a little bit better. You can actually scrub through it frame by frame and make sure that you've got everything in that you want. And everything that's being keyed out is going to be good. So there's that. Seems to be looking good. All right, that looks good. All right, cool. So we've got our key. Cool. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to keep rotoing. We've got the roto brush tool, and then we have the refine edge tool. So this is going to be where we're really going to refine our edge. It's mostly going to deal with our hair and the lights. So we're just going to follow the edge, just kind of like in Photoshop, where it's going to find those edges. Now it's going to use a lot more processing power to do, but it's going to give us a cleaner edge. And that's what we're all about, is getting that detailed, clean edge to really, really shine for us here. So there's this. Now, you don't have to necessarily do it like this, but if you can see how your edges are, I definitely recommend doing it if you've got the processing power, because it's just going to make things look a lot cleaner and sharper. All right, I'm going to go through here. Do some more around the edges just so we have that clean look. Now on some of these edges, like these straight edge, it really doesn't matter, but we really want to make sure that we don't have any of this green showing up, because then it obviously is going to look, hey, we did this on a green screen and we're idiots. So we don't want to do that. Let's go back through here and get a little bit of clean there. That, make sure that looks good there. All right, then we go to our other dude here. This should technically be fine, but I'm just going to double check and make sure it is. Bring that up. yes, this is a very tedious process, and doing this live might be a little boring. So if you've got music or anything, you can totally play this. But this is kind of how this goes. A lot of the tutorials that I do, or that you've probably seen, they take a lot longer to do than what they say on the YouTube video. So like, say if the tutorial takes 30 minutes on YouTube that you watch, it's actually more around an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, depending on your skill level and kind of where you're at. So that's a fun little piece of trivia there. If you're doing After Effects, the tutorials are always more than what they seem. So if you're wanting to get into After Effects, it's definitely something you got to put all your stuff into, because it takes a little bit longer than you normally would think. It's not like Photoshop. It's like Photoshop on crack. If you really like Photoshop, and if you want to do some crack, get into After Effects. All right, so we've got that cleaned out there. We've got a decent edge here. I'm just going to do this edge because I did everything else. Do that all the way down. Oh, I see we have another visitor. Yay. Hi, visitor. Welcome. All right. And clean that edge up there. Do this all the way down on the bottom. Right there. All right. So we got that. We're going to go again frame by frame and fix this up. So we've got 1 frame, 2 frame. All right, 3 frame. Again, tedious process. It's not one of those things where I can fast forward. See, this is like a lot of those tedious processes. I think I did a tutorial about, I did this big galaxy, right? What's going on here? So I did this galaxy, and what a lot of people didn't see was how much I had to skip. Oh, let's just undo that because I don't like that. Because, I mean, you'd see the galaxy and then you'd be like, oh, okay, that looks awesome. And then you have to play it back. And in order to play it back, or like scrub it through to where you can actually see what all's going on, you have to render that. It takes a while to render. Not a lot of people know that. So, yeah, things take a very, very long time to render sometimes. This is kind of that process sometimes. I'm going to see what I can do here just by scrubbing through, making sure everything looks good, which everything seems to be up right there. All right. Right about here when he gets through. Let's go back right there, and then he scrubs here. So we'll just go ahead and make our refined edge tool here. Make sure we've got some good consistency here. Go ahead and take this out here. We'll keep what we want. See, all the stuff in white is going to be what's kept. Everything in black is going to be, this is nothing now. That's what we want. We don't want the things. Let's keep this here. There we go. And we also have use motion blur, and we'll do that here momentarily. But we're still kind of scrubbing through this. So we'll do here. Keep that rolling. as he further progresses past this window, you gotta roto out a lot of this stuff. All right, and keep rolling. Still good. And still good on that one. Keep rolling. And again, all this stuff could have been easily done if we had correctly lit everything, our green screen background. But again, it was raining, and we were not on a studio set. We were in a house in the middle of nowhere. So you have to kind of deal with what you got to whenever you're on set, and make the best out of what you got. Okay, so here we go on this. That's being kept there. And we'll go back through here. Whoops. Nope, don't want that. Go ahead and undo that there. Don't want that dot. But we do want to get rid of that because we don't need that green there. All right, there's that. And we'll go ahead, move it forward. Move it forward. And just kind of keep moving. Everything's looking good so far. Good. All right, we've got this little thing going on here. We don't need. Get rid of that there. All right, there's that. And then we've only got one more frame left, and we should be good to go. Cool. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and save our composition now, and we will go back into our linked comp. So now from our linked comp, so we have all these kind of selected, we can go ahead and deselect our background layer here, and we notice that we have a clean composition. We've got a little bit of green, but we are going to fix that, and color correction. So we're not going to worry about that right now. So we notice that we've got little bit of contamination here. So we're going to decontaminate the edge colors, which should help a lot. Yeah, that definitely helped. All right, it's going to be pretty good there. And we're also going to turn on our chatter reduction, and hopefully that's going to help out a little bit with this. And we're also going to desaturate our greens just because that's gross, and we're probably going to change the hue a lot. Okay, so that helped with that quite a bit. Cool. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we have this other layer down here that we have our 3D camera tracker. We are going to track this one little point. So we'll go ahead and turn this on, and we're going to create a camera. Okay, so that camera puts it up right there, and let's set this on here, and let's select our points. And I think this one's going to be probably our best point right here to select. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Let's see here. select. Oh, that's why. I still had my roto point done. All right, I'm going to select this, and I'm going to create a null object. And that's going to create that null object in 3D space. And now, technically, I'm not going to need anything else. So, we had a background layer here, which is image 2014, which I don't want that. All right, image 2014. So I'm going to need to find where that image is, because this is the image that he wants us to use. In order to do that, you can right click on that image, and you can find or reveal in Explorer. That's going to pop up a window here, which is going to be image 2014-1027, which is this guy right here. And I'm going to place that into my project. So I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to title it background images. And I'm just going to drag that dude into my background images, because I know I'm going to use it a lot. Okay, so I've got that, and I've got this. So here is this, and this is kind of what he wants. So it's going to be kind of like across the street, I guess. We kind of size this up to make it look somewhat realistic, as if it was across the street. Let's see here. But also what I want to do is I'm going to hit P and hit P on my tracking position. I'm going to hit alternate on my little stopwatcher here, and I'll grab my pick whip tool and track that position. So this way, my track point will always be here for me, and it's going to be my special friend. You know? All right, so with that being said, I'm going to double click my drop down arrow here, and I'm going to change my anchor point and move this to correctly position. All right, so let's see here. What happened to my footage? I don't like where my footage is going. Go. Go footage, go. All right, there we go. That looks better. All right, let's see here. Yeah, this is the unfortunate thing about using the roto tool. It's very, very slow to render. So I'm going to push this over just a bit. And I'm going to push this over just a little bit. That way it's always on the line there. Hopefully it'll do better. All right, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and scrub through this. And I'm going to see how this looks. Oh, nobody's watching me anymore. I'm all alone. So sad. I am alone. But I am scrubbing my footage. Dun, 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 dun. But if you can tell, a lot of that green stuff has kind of left us. And whenever we color correct this, it's going to look a lot better than this weird, odd, orangish tone. And we're going to color Excuse me, I had to burp, and I'm sorry. Sorry I had to burp, but I'm scrubbing through this and trying to keep you guys entertained somehow, and I gotta drink some water. Yeah, again, I'm using a shotgun microphone because I lost my condenser microphone in a move. So I'm still looking for a new microphone, you know. Hey, we got another watcher. Awesome. Welcome to the show, whoever you are. Please comment if you like, or you can help us get funded for this project, and you can donate $1 or 50 cents or whatever you want, and we keep doing more of this kind of stuff because I like to help people with their After Effects. Because After Effects, I'm sorry, I'm going to curse, but it is a bitch. All right, so I'm going to keep scrubbing through here and try to think about other things to entertain you. So let's talk about movies. What are some of your guys' movies that I like seeing some of the other your guys' projects. So like some of those tutorials that I did, I remember seeing one of the first ones that I did was, oh man, I want to find it. Let's see here. Oh, youtube.com. Man, I can't type. Tutorial grid. Oh, I even spelt my name wrong. Oh my gosh. Tutorial grid. There we go. Let's see. What I've got going on. Oh, look, there's a video of me that I did today to tell you guys that I'm doing this. Isn't that fun? It's one of my more popular tutorials. Let's see here. Go back to home. Yeah. The energy core. So I got so many messages about how some of these people used the energy core. I remember this guy showed me a video of him making this energy core for like this Superman video, and it was really cool. Like, I mean, it wasn't like the best looking thing of all time, but it was really neat seeing somebody use that tutorial. And I remember I did that, man, it was 3 years ago that I did that tutorial. And I remember doing it on a little 4 gigabyte memory laptop. So just to give you guys some like perspective on where things have come from or have gone thus far. We've come a long way, and I'm really happy with the way things have kind of played out, you know? So, we're still scrubbing along. Okay, let's just kind of look and see how things are scrubbing along here. All right. We've got some stuff. It looks like we've got... All right, we're going to have to definitely do a lot of color correction, but this is looking fairly decent. Yeah, we've got... it's just that background looks really kind of funny. And we're going to change that. We're going to add some reflections and some other things that are going to make it look a little better. All right, so... Yeah. Oh, 0 watchers. So sad. Goodbye. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and make this look a little better. So we need to figure out how we want to align this shot here, which I need to change the anchor point since we have kind of moved that spot. Let's make this a little bigger because these buildings need to be fairly close, I believe. Yep, that's not going to work. All right. I'm going to do this about right here. All right, that's probably going to work pretty well. Cool. All right, now that is in place. I'm also going to go to Layer, New Solid. I'm going to create a black solid because that's just how I roll. And I'm going to type in, I believe it's shine. No, it's not Trapcode Shine. Light light streak. Let's see here. Light warp, light wave, light wipe. No. It is light. Maybe it's light sweep. Let's see here. Yep, that's it. All right, light sweep. And we're just going to kind of create, I guess it's more of, I guess I could do this with, well, we'll do it a couple of different, we'll see what works better. So we're going to use light sweep, and we're going to create some artificial light. So let's create the width fairly large. Yeah, we're probably going to have to use a ramp for this. And edge intensity, just kind of bring that up a bit. Edge thickness, yeah, we're probably definitely going to have to make this a bit bigger. Oh, I don't want edge intensity. That's what that does. All right, yeah, we don't want edge intensity. Let's do sweep intensity. That's going to look a little better. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of put this in the middle of our little composition here. So now we're going to see this gradient light that we've got here. And let's change the center of it, maybe push it up. So our light's going to be kind of coming from a source. Then we're going to change our mode from normal to, let's try screen. And that looks pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's going to look, fairly decent. Because that actually probably kind of looks more realistic than what it could be. Because, I mean, technically it's outside, so you're going to see a little bit of a gradient wash. Yeah, that's probably how it's going to be. All right, so we'll do that. But we're also going to try this layer, new, solid. Let's call this ramp. We'll see what the ramp is going to look like. And actually, there's probably a better version of this. So instead of add, let's do color dodge. Yeah, that doesn't look good at all. That actually looks pretty. I actually like that a lot. It looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to try it with the ramp. So we'll just go to Effects Presets and do Ramp. And Gradient Ramp. And we'll bring that down. We'll push that there. And we'll do that. This is our black. So we want our black over here. And the start of the ramp be right up here. Nope. I am totally wrong. So we'll do this. Black up here, white up here. Just do kind of one of these. Do one of those, and we will check yourself. Okay, so there's that, and let's do linear dodge. So that looks pretty good too. So if you want that versus that, I don't know, I'm kind of sold on this one. This one's pretty good. So we'll do that. Okay. So now let's go ahead and color correct some of this stuff. Let's do curves. And curves. Bring that down. Bring some curves down. And kind of make it maybe a little brighter. Nah, a little darker. Well, maybe not so dark. Well, actually, if it's technically outside, we would see it as if it was a lot brighter. We wouldn't really see this kind of HDR picture. So we'll brighten it up quite a bit. So we're indoors, so we've got this bright white light here. And we've kind of got a little bit, and we'll kind of change some reflectivity here. But we've got that going on. Let's change some blue. So we've got some blue. I don't like that. So we'll just kind of ramp up the blue to make it kind of just look a little bit more white, you know? Maybe add some red in here. Just to kind of give it like, oh my gosh, this is outdoors. This could be an actual scene outside. Give it a little bit more of that oomph. And looks pretty good for our outdoor scene. So now we're going to go and look at our... I'm sorry, I can't really see my footage here because I've got a microphone in front of my face. So we'll go to our foreground here and let's add a curves layer 2. And yeah, we still have 0 watching. 49 minutes in. We've only had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people come in and check us out. So yeah, I'm still here. All right, here we go. So we've got our curves here, and we're just going to kind of bring our levels up. And since we're in 32-bit and we recorded our footage in such a high bit depth, we can really go and change a lot of our coloring here, which really gives us a big advantage because we can make this look a lot more realistic. So we've got a lot of yellow in here, so we'll just take our blue and pump up our blue here. And we're also going to pump up our green because we've got a lot of red spill. So green, and pump up that green just a bit. Now we are going to white balance this because we are then going to send it off to a colorist. So the colorist is going to kind of give it that end color that they're going to be using. So we're going to try to white balance this as much as we possibly can to kind of give it an overall feel, and then color it a little bit, just a little bit. There's that. Maybe bring down the blue just a hint, because there's just too much. There's not enough contrast now. I'll just bring down the whites a bit. And all right, that looks pretty good. And actually that fixed a lot of our green spillage here. Which, I mean, it did completely fix it, but for now, this actually looks pretty good. I'm going to change some of our gamma here, so we'll go into exposure. Pull that down on top of that, and we'll kind of change our gamma correction. Kind of give it more of a flat tone before we do a final key and color. Change our offsets. That's going to make it look awful. Don't like offset. Maybe bring down the exposure just a bit. Okay, now let's go into our final color correction. Okay. Oh, come on, render. Be my friend. Be my friend and render. Jesus Christ, it's taking forever. This is why you don't want to do it this way sometimes. Do it as best you can on set before you do any rotoing. Because rotoring really isn't your friend sometimes. Alright. There's that. Pull this back. For some reason that's not really working out too well. Huh, that's weird. We might have to go back to this one for some reason. This isn't updating as well as it should. And here we go. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Wow, we might have to restart the program here. This is weird. All right, well, save. All right, I'm going to restart this program real quick. Shut it down. Yeah, sometimes whenever you get into newer programs, like I'm using Adobe CC 2015, they run into a few bugs and issues. So yeah, this is happening right now. We're going through a bug and issue. Gotta love those issues. There we go. Yeah, I'm using Windows 10, by the way. Yay for Windows 10. That in itself has its own bug and issues. All right, so we're about 56 minutes into this live tutorial grid session. I would like to let you guys know again about SiteGround, $3.99 a month. Great website hosting. There's a link below, so make sure to check out SiteGround if you're looking for a great website host. And yeah, check them out. All right, let's go back into After Effects. And hopefully it's going to be friendly to me. Be friendly. Or we're just going to have to move on to another shot. There we go. Okay, cool. And go back up in here. And I'm going to put my exposure back on. And hopefully it's going to play nice. Set the gamut just a little bit. Nope. Wrong one. There we go. Alright, there's that. And that's just a little too bright. So on this black solid here that I have as a light streak, I'm going to change the opacity just because it's too washed out for this scene. So we'll just take out the opacity a bit like that, and we're going to add some glare. So what should we do to add glare? I mean, technically you would see some reflection here. So why don't let's try and see what this would look like if it was flipped. So we'll do one of these. Whoops, don't want to do that. We're going to flip this technically. Come on. Oh yeah, I have to anchor it. Warp. Warp, warp. And transform and anchor. Nope. And pull this over. Keep forgetting that I have this tracked because our shot technically moves and dollies forward. So I've got to remember that. Alright, so now we've got this shot here. So I want to now go T and make this completely, almost completely opaque. And let's try this. And maybe move it up. Or I should maybe find the inside of a restaurant, because technically that's where they're supposed to be, is a restaurant right now. So let's just get rid of that. So let's go to our trusty friend Google and type in restaurant, which I probably misspelled that, didn't I? Yes, I did. And images, let's see here. Restaurant MD. Search tools. What would be something good? We need like bright lights or something that reflects, just to kind of give it some more oomph. Because we want it in the top, because the top is what's making me a little iffy. So don't want to use anything from Shutterstock. That might work. Let's see here. Make sure it's a decent size. 15 megapixels. That actually might work right there, or that might work. Or no, that won't work. This I think will work. So view image and save as, and we're going to put this in a folder, in my Black Mariachi folder for VFX stock. All right, and I'm going to import that into my project. And Black Mariachi VFX stock. I've already done one of the fun tutorials, which I hope you don't hate me for, which is actually I did a 3D composite of bullet trails going through the water, which I'll probably redo that one for the Tutorial Grid Live, but that was it was pretty cool. I think you guys would enjoy it quite a bit. All right, so I'm going to pop that right on there, make it much smaller. Probably desaturate it kind of a bit. But anyway, I'm going to make this more reflective and opaque. So I'm actually going to try this screen. And this is going to kind of mimic our background here and give us a better look. So I'm going to mask kind of that around here and hit M. And instead of add, I'm going to subtract, which that's going to do that, and hit F for feather and feather the crap out of this thing because it's going to go down. So now I've got what looks like a really nice kind of, I mean, it is so fake, but it is a good idea of we now have a reflection of something that could be in the top of this building here, which I need to feather this out a bit more. Maybe bring it down some. I don't like how much it's feathering out there. So now we've got a little bit of what could be a reflection of the ceiling. So it's just going to add more to that realism that this is something that is outside. Which I'm also going to take this and kind of maybe bring it down a little bit more, just because it's looking actually a little bit better. We don't have a whole lot in there, but it just adds that little itty bit of stuff that we're going to need. That's going to kind of brighten this up. Well, maybe a little bit more. It's all about the look. All about the end result and the look. Cool. Okay, now another thing that we're going to have to do is remember that position we had. So we're going to have to alternate click on our stopwatch here, and we're going to have to actually freaking reposition this whole thing. So do that, click that there, make sure you have the double down on our little stop thing here, and move this over, move it over, and move it down, and position it back because this is in 3D space. So while our, oh man, that's huge. All right, let's put this down because since we put it in the 3D space, it is now just horrendously big, and I hate that. All right, pull it over. Pull it over. That actually looks pretty good right there. About right there. All right, let's save this. It's looking pretty good. All right. Uh-oh. Cannot get 2 frames to play back. All right, cool. So now we've got this reflection. I'm going to go in and do some more color correcting in our shot, but we're just about finished. I mean, we're going to do, well, we might do some more color correcting, but yeah, you get the idea. Let's see here. Let's just do an overall, just complete saturation of brightness, just to kind of give us something new to look at here. My computer is not liking me today. Weird. Alright, we'll save it again, and we'll close. This is a weird problem it seemed having. Always goes to show that no matter how much stuff, how much stuff you've got going on, the better the computer, it's great, but sometimes it's just not enough. You can't have a perfect computer, and sometimes you just got to restart it. It sucks, but it happens. Started back here. There we go. Do 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 do. Manom. Come on. There we go. All right. I don't know why it takes so freaking for long. This is why you don't. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna say. This is why you don't roto brush. But we've got a very clean looking scene here. Alright, so I'm just gonna bring down my blacks just a bit. Make sure we're not clipping on any processes. Make sure everything's looking good. Looking clean. And maybe bring those back up. Down a bit. Oops, I don't want to do that. Go to the blue. What is my blue? Alright. Looks pretty good. And I'm going to save. So we got a perfect black level. We've got a light level. And we're going to change some saturations here just because we're working in film stock, so it desaturates a lot of this stuff for us, which I don't necessarily like the Blackmagic cameras for that particular reason, it does do a lot of weird saturation things. But we're going to fix all of that. So let's see what happens when we saturate this back just a bit. Bring some of those colors back in. And we're also going to color correct with a lot of this stuff too. So we're going to take out some of our yellows here. And maybe a little bit of our reds. And then do a master of the saturation. Do it again on those reds and those yellows, just because there's just a lot of things you can try to do as much as you can to fix some of this stuff, but sometimes it just, you've got to hand tool it. And reason why I'm doing cyans on this one is because whenever you key out or roto green, it will get a lot of that green stuff out, and especially if you do some of the foreground coloring or the edge color correction, but it will turn it sometimes cyan or a blue. So sometimes you're just going to have to bring in that saturation and kind of play with your hue and saturation. So now it looks more of like a white. So that's what we like. We want it to be more of like a white. And you can kind of change the hue too and make it more of like a flesh tone if you want, or like a warmer tone, which I'm kind of doing right here. That's going to make it way green, so I don't want that. So I don't want it to be blue, purple, or anything like that. Which it's also going to change some of your other tones. So make it a little bit white. So you see our bowl here, instead of being cyan or green, it is now white. You know, it's got a white balance to it now. Let's see here. Everything's looking pretty good. We've got a reflection here, a window. Looking, it's looking pretty nice. I think that we might be close to being finished. Whoop! I had a hiccup. Let's save here. You know, you can't do enough color correction, I don't believe. I feel like every time I do color correction, it's going to do that same thing again, isn't it? My computer is not wanting me to do color correction today. Oh, come on. It's because I did that roto. Come on. Think. Think, computer, think. You can do it. I know you can. I think it did. Awesome. Okay, so there's that. And cool. I think we should be good to go on this portion. So we did our green screen, and this is looking pretty good. We'll probably do a final once over. VFX is not finished on this shot. This is kind of a pre-finished shot, as you will, until we get all of our scenes finished in our production, which now that looks like you no longer have film footage here because you changed the sequence. That's what happens there. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on. And yeah, I have still 0 people watching me. So that's always fun. Yeah, so let's see here. Okay, but anyway, what we're doing is, so we've got our shot pretty much completed and how we want it to look. I'm going to save here just in case anything crappy happens. So we've got our shot, and that's going to be imported back into here. So someone is going to color that footage the way it's actually supposed to. We basically just white balanced it, but we can do a lot of stuff while we're in here. So the next thing we're going to do is we can either go back and do more green screening, which if you can tell, we did a little bit better of a job lighting the situation with this other shot because we were looking more at a upward situation, so we have less reflectivity. So this one actually might be a little bit easier to do. It might not be easier. I'm not gonna lie. But we're going to kind of look at some of these other shots. This shot was really cool because we got to throw a brick through the window. That was a fun day. And then we had people crawl on the ground and all sorts of stuff. It was a good time. So we can either go ahead and try to... Yeah, this one's not moving. Okay, this one should be good. So we'll just go ahead and... yeah, we'll just do more green screen. So let's just go ahead and bring this, replace with After Effects composition. And we'll just go ahead and pull this over. Cool. Okay, so we're at 100%. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this, turn this off, and since we don't have to motion track anything, we're just going to go ahead and go directly into our key, and hopefully we can get a really nice key out of it. But first let's try this exposure. Let's do color correction exposure. Let's bring our exposure down and see what we've got to work with, and that is pretty bright. Okay, never mind, we will do the key and see what happens. Type in key light. Key light. Key light is good. And we're going to select our color. We're going to select a dark green. Yep, we're definitely going to have to do another key light or another roto. Oh man, that's going to suck. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, because you can see. Yeah, okay. Filmmaker tip 101. Never use a green cup whenever you green screen. All right, so we're going to have a huge ordeal to do again. Yeah, so instead of doing another one of these, you saw the tutorial. It's pretty awesome. You saw me do it live, which is probably a little bit more tedious than you thought it was going to be. But hey, we got it done in about an hour, 16 minutes. And we had a couple people watching us, which is awesome. Let's try to do this again. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it off for tonight while I work on another shot, which is basically the same shot as what we just did. So I'm not going to bore you. But hey guys, thanks again for watching the first segment of Tutorial Grid Live, working on the Black Mariachi feature film in After Effects. Again, check out our friends over at SiteGround. There is a link below you can check out and see all the cool stuff there. $3.99 a month, their bottom dollar price, and they've got a lot of good stuff going on for them. So make sure to check them out. Also, you can check out the Black Mariachi, which will be finished whenever I'm finished, and it will be coming to a film festival near you. I believe there's one in Kansas City we're in, so make sure to check that out. So there's that. Again, check us out at avidproductions479.com and facebook.com/avidproductions479. So I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast. It has been great, and I'll see you. Hopefully, I'll probably do another one tomorrow. So I will see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.